Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some more news, rumors and details in regards to Star Wars Battlefront 3, Star Wars Battlefront 2 Fallen Order 2 and Star Wars games in general. We got more of these anonymous leaks to talk about that most likely are not legit, but also some interesting details that people have figured out in regards to some other Star Wars games and who might potentially be working on them. So let's head straight into it. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button for all things Star Wars gaming, and if you want to support the channel, feel free to click that join button below and you'll get yourself some exclusive emojis and badges you can have both in the chat and in the comments below. But now let's get straight into it. So let's start off with the two anonymous Reddit leaks, rumors slash made up posts. I'll get to the more reliable sources later in the video, but I wanted to get over these two first, as both of these posts are really based out of nothing. So what I mean with this is that what they say in these posts might as well be true, but there's really nothing in here that gives it any credibility whatsoever. These are brand new accounts that have not posted anything before, and if any of the stuff that they do say happens to be true, then maybe there are some truth to what they said and we can trust future posts about them. A bit like someone that some of you might know, Some Info. He was a known Battlefront 2 leaker. At first we didn't believe him, but when the stuff that he said ended up being true, obviously he gained a lot of credibility. So it could be the same with these, but as of right now, I would really take all of these leaks with a grain of salt, but I'm gonna cover them nevertheless, just because it's fun to discuss, right? So the first one that came up a couple of days ago says Battlefront 3, Fallen Order 2 and more to be announced this year. And they said that Battlefront 3 is in very early development. DICE is trying to reinvent the Battlefront franchise. Expect announcement for the third Battlefront in the first half of the year. It'll be a logo reveal, no gameplay. So basically how they announced the first game. I think this could very well happen, because I think if DICE are going to make another Battlefront game after Battlefield 6, now is probably the time to start planning it, at least, because I know that they're planning to release Battlefield 6 later this year, which means that some parts of the development team are probably starting to finish up on their parts, and therefore you obviously need a new project to work on. So they are probably planning out the next project, and if that is Battlefront 3, it makes sense that they just started working on it now. And I also think it would make sense to reveal at least that they are working on the game pretty early on, so potentially, like this poster said, the first half of this year. But again, I can't really say that I believe this more after reading the post than just speculating in my head, if that makes sense. And then it says Fallen Order 2 is farther into development than you'd think. Respawn's been working on the title since before the release of Fallen Order. An announcement for Fallen Order 2 will happen this year, second half of the year is most likely. This is kind of stuff that we almost already knew, I would say, because I remember that Jeff Grubb said basically around the release of Fallen Order that they had already been starting to work on Fallen Order 2, because I think they could probably judge that, yeah, this game is really good, it's going to be a success, let's start working on the second one right away. So I think that makes sense. Same thing with the announcement there. And then some random noteworthy things. He says that the Ubisoft massive open world title is an MMO with tons and tons of content. That's something I find a little bit hard to believe, as I think it's more likely it's just an RPG or open world game, and they've already got Star Wars The Old Republic, obviously, and sure, they could be shutting that game down and replacing it with a new MMO, but I just don't think Massive are working on an MMO, so that's something that makes me a little bit iffy in regards to this post. And then he does say EA does have quite a few titles in development, but with their past track record, there's no way of knowing what will and won't be released or even announced properly. And then also there is a KOTOR remake in the works. EA is not working on it. So basically just reiterating what other leakers have said. So I don't know. I feel like this post might as well just have been made by anyone, and I don't feel like there's too much reason to just dive into all of these details and discuss them, because sure, a lot of this might be true, but it might just be because this guy is a good guesser, and half of this stuff I think any of us could really have guessed. And the next post is actually about Fallen Order 2 only, where the poster says that the game starts immediately after the events of the first game. Inferno Squad will be making an appearance, the new Inquisitors will arrive, one of them supposedly Terrellian, and there's talks about including Darth Maul as a cameo, the game releases in 2022 and takes full advantage of Unreal Engine 5, and that Battlefront 3 is indeed in development, soon to be announced. Again, a lot of this could be guessed. I mean, I guessed that Inferno Squad was going to be in Fallen Order 2 just based on the fact that the actors were filming new stuff, and since it is for a game, most likely, well, Fallen Order 2 makes the most sense, as I don't think they would fit in like a Battlefront 3 or similarly. And then again that he throws the Battlefront 3 is indeed in development, soon to be announced. It almost annoys me at this point, because there has been like legit leaks in regards to the KOTOR game, the Fallen Order 2, but there has yet to be a single reliable source saying anything about Battlefront 3, but that has only been from these anonymous Reddit posts, which makes me think that it's probably BS. I mean, yes, they might be planning or working on some type of new Battlefront game, but I don't think any of these Reddit posters know about that. I might be wrong, but I think when they actually start getting more into development, I think Jeff Grubb, Jason Schreier, or any of those people will actually start mentioning it more. The one thing that all of these posts actually say is that they say that Battlefront 3 is going to be announced sometime soon. So I guess we'll know just within a few months, really, if these leaks are true. But I'm willing to bet that they are not. But if we then move on to some more real stuff, if I put it that way, as you know, there has been rumors slash some actual credible leaks that there is a KOTOR remake in the works, but that it's been from a studio that we could never guess, in quotes. But it seems like some people have figured out that it might actually be a studio called Aspyr Media. The reason to why this is very, very likely is that they have actually handled a lot of the remastering slash porting of Star Wars games, such as Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Star Wars Racer and stuff. Some of those games that have been released on newer platforms such as the Switch over the last couple of years, and that's something Aspyr Media has been working on. And on top of that, they've actually been hiring a bunch of developers from BioWare Austin who have been working on the Old Republic MMO. And it seems like almost every other person at Aspyr actually came from BioWare the last couple of years. So I think it makes a lot of sense that Aspyr Media would be creating a new KOTOR game. So what does this actually mean? Well, I can't really say much because I don't have too much experience with Aspyr Media, but it does indeed look good, the fact that they have handled all the previous Star Wars porting and remastering, so they do have experience with that, and they're obviously hiring a lot of experienced people from BioWare as well. And I just think all of this kind of strengthens the rumor that there is indeed a KOTOR game in the works, or at least some Star Wars game there, because I don't think it is a coincidence that they're hiring so much people from BioWare Austin, as well as the fact that they've worked on all of these other Star Wars games porting and remastering them. But those are all the leaks and rumors I had for today. Lastly, I also wanted to share these numbers that most of you have probably seen by now, that 19 million players got Star Wars Battlefront 2 from the Epic Game Store promo, which is crazy, and probably puts the total number of players at over 50 million. Which is just an insane number and shows how much of interest there still is for Star Wars Battlefront 2. I mean, yes, it was free, but you don't just pick up any free game if you're not interested in it. And I think that also shows EA that if they do make a perfect Battlefront game, a game that at launch doesn't have a bunch of issues, gives the community what they want, they are gonna sell a shit ton of copies, simply put. And if they make it a free game instead with like a monetization model, well, expect like 50 million players to join right away, and then it depends on how they monetize the game, but well, expect a lot of players. This could even be a test to show how much of an interest there is in having a free Battlefront game. So yeah, I thought those numbers were really exciting to see. Obviously, they're not going to bring back support for Battlefront 2 as much as we ask for it, but nevertheless, the community and the game is still thriving so far after they've shut down the support, which is amazing to see. But that's really all for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like and a comment below, and subscribe if you aren't already. I would appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.